You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they've fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you were a key part.
That she made has a community note, basically a fact check from Instagram about her response, calling it out for not being honest. This contains cherry-picked information from the federal judge's ruling, which actually threw out 10 of 13 of Blake's claims, the core one being SH. The judge found that many of her claims of SH also did not rise to that.
Wrong with getting attention, but it should make sense. It should make sense. There should be some reason. And if it's out of balance, you should probably look at like why is it?
Blake Lively is being humiliated yet another time after what Joe Rogan just said about the community annotation that just appeared on her latest Instagram post to expose her false agenda.
There's some people, man, that get real self-indulgent and self-righteous with that in social media. It's exposed a lot of celebrities for being real dorks.
After the federal judge rejected 10 key allegations from the lawsuit, Blake Lively was music. Desperate to make her fans believe that she was the target. So, she went on Instagram and shared, music, a message about the court's decision. However, this turned out to be her biggest mistake. Instagram has a feature called Community Notes, and this feature lets users to add context and fact checks to posts that are spreading music, fake news. Almost as soon as Blake shared her message, Instagram users gave an exclusive community note right on her music post. The note explicitly stated that Blake was providing cherry-picked information. It exposed the harsh reality of her court loss and informed the public that the federal judge actually threw out 10 of her 13 legal claims.
Post also ignores the fact that Blake had in fact kissed Justin Baldoni without his consent.
To understand Blake's latest meltdown, you have to understand Joe's philosophy. This man has spent years exposing industry figures who use powerful public PR machines to hide their real conduct. But in the case of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, Joe Rogan did not hide behind anything.
Think they're going to do a good thing, and they think that through their celebrity, they're going to use their platform and their voice, and they're going to make a difference.
Based on him, the true intention within all this controversy was not about job site safety. It was about power and greed.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy.
What made Joe Rogan's remarks so compelling was that he mocked Blake and Ryan's oversized egos. He joked at the idea that these wealthy stars believed they could simply step on Justin Music, Baldoni, and get away with it.
I just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone usually just bows down.
Because everyone's scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds, A-list, Blake Lively, A-list. Like, they're the queens.
Rogan supported Justin Music and commended him for presenting the real evidence to trial, as the actual text messages that revealed what the pair was actually doing behind the scenes.
Real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
dude, he posted the receipts.
Oh,
he's like, oh, remember our text exchange?
How about she told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding? And then part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth.
When you are a major Hollywood music star and you get stuck in an open lie, you do not normally apologize. Rather, you use your influence, music, to hide the evidence. Soon after the awkward community note appeared on her post, something very odd happened. The community note simply vanished.
But it looks like WME and Ryan somehow pulled some strings and got somebody to go remove this community note, which is in beta test.
Now, community notes don't simply vanish on their own, especially on high-profile posts. And according to online theories, it's reported that Blake Lively, Music, or her very powerful talent agency WME called the top executives at Meta and pressured them to delete the note allegedly.
Stupid statement that made me think about this and realize I needed to talk about it because it's really important on how the system allows rich people to terrorize those that don't have the funds to fight them, to silence people, harass them, dox them. And that's Blake Lively. That's Blake Lively doing that because she can, because she has the money to.
This is exactly the kind of messy backstage trick that Joe Rogan was criticizing. It shows a celebrity who thinks the rules do not apply to them. This concealment attempt has made Blake look guilty. If her story was true, She would not need to call tech executives to remove fact checks from her page. By erasing the note, she proved to the whole world that she was afraid of the truth. It was a desperate move from someone who was going absolutely nuts watching her meticulously planned smear campaign fall to pieces.
And then now for her to have the audacity to stand up and say, I'm a protector of women and children who have digital violence done against them. Girl, you are the digital violence. You are the system. You are the one abusing people.
Although Blake Lively has taken the brunt of the public backlash, the real power behind this mess seems to be her husband, Ryan "Music" Reynolds.
Blake Lively worked internally on the film to turn everyone against Justin Baldoni, while Ryan Reynolds was working externally in the Hollywood landscape to turn everyone against Justin.
The reports and text messages describe him as the actual ringleader of this entire conflict.
Let's not forget, Ryan, how you spoke to them in your own text messages. You should be ashamed of yourself.
The conflict began early. Justin Baldoni's film company, Wayfarer Studios, controlled the It Ends With Us movie. Baldoni was the director, but Ryan and Blake chose Music sought the power. They used their enormous power to push past Justin and take over the project. Music, the power struggle became so intense that Justin Baldoni, the real director of the film, was not even permitted to see the final cut of his own movie until the night of the premiere.
Justin is shut out. He's giving notes as a studio, not as a director. He has not seen the locked cut of the film in July of 2024. And in August 5th of 2024, Justin invites the editors to the premiere, but they can't be in the same room with Blake.
When Justin did not just give up Music and walk away, Ryan Reynolds used his big summer movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, to launch a petty, multi-million-dollar insult at Baldoni. In the movie, Ryan introduced a character named Nice Fool, specifically used to parody Baldoni's public persona as a sweet, sensitive man. He used a Marvel movie to mock an indie independent director.
Whether he was taking a shot at Justin, here's the clip.
Sorry about that. Come here, girl. Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're a Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool.
There's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody that can watch that, the hair bun, the comment about the pregnancy. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's being done. But again, like if somebody is seriously sexually harassed, you don't make fun of it. It's a serious issue.
To push Justin Baldoni out, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively began making alleged claims. Music, Ryan reportedly filed papers claiming that he truly believes Mr. Baldoni is a predator. Music, he stated that Justin failed to create a safe work environment. But when the lawyers actually looked at the evidence, the actual Music truth came out. The deposition suggested that nothing happened. There was no unsafe environment, but only a director trying to make his movie. And Music, a wealthy couple trying to steal it by making up horrible lies.
Goal for them, ultimately, after reading all these text messages and reading all these emails and reading all this bullshit, was to completely take over the film from day one.
The reported text messages showed the dirty truth. Music, the messages exposed an orchestrated effort by the pair to control the movie and ruin Justin Baldoni. This is why Joe Rogan stated they __up. Music, they believed no one would ever read those texts. They believed their fame would shield them from the truth.
Who doesn't like that? They don't like us being honest. They don't like us telling you the truth. They try to to massage everything into their narrative. And that's what these big A-list stars, as Joe's implying, do. Ryan and Blake, as we know, we're trying to cover this up. Ari Emanuel, all these people trying to keep this up and say, oh yeah, believe the woman, believe Blake, she's telling the truth. And it's just...
The peak of their bullying allegedly happened during the promotional tour. There was a special meta-screening of the film in New York. The entire Music cast attended a question and answer session, but Justin Baldoni was completely excluded. This was done on purpose to make him look bad and spark internet rumors that he was not a good guy. Behind the scenes, Ryan and Blake were reportedly angry. They were upset because fans were seeing Baldoni as the serious voice behind the movie too. They demanded that the WME agency pressure Baldoni's company to issue a statement taking responsibility for any negative press. Ryan even allegedly made a direct threat, telling the agency that if Justin Baldoni did not take the blame, the gloves would come off.
Ryan was losing his goddamn mind in the week after the movie came out, fighting tooth and nail to all the agencies, to Sony, to everyone. Don't let Blake out there just hanging. She did nothing. She was the best. She created this movie. She was amazing. She didn't do anything wrong. Do something.
Since Justin declined to submit to the bullies, the fight proceeded to federal music court. He sued them for $400 million, alleging they used their enormous influence to steal his film and ruin music, his name. As the court case moved forward, Blake Lively's legal team began to panic. They began making confusing moves that showed they had no real evidence. Music, a massive fight broke out over the witness list for the upcoming trial. In a move of stunning hypocrisy, Blake's lawyers, Music, asked the judge that Justin's team was not providing a clear list of who would testify in person and who would testify by video. Blake tried to make Justin look as though he was hiding Music something. But Justin Baldoni's lawyers fired back quickly and embarrassed her in front of the judge, alleging she was demanding rules that she refused to follow herself.
Blake wants to know if the defense plans to call up the following people to be witnesses that would be on the stand. Are they going to call these people to the stand? Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, Melissa Nathan, and Jennifer Abe.
Unfortunately, the inclusion of Melissa Nathan is appearing bad for Blake. Melissa is a crisis public music relations expert. When she testifies live, she will lift back the curtain and show precisely how her team tried to use the media to damage Justin's image. Meanwhile, her list of music 45 people has made her seem more foolish. The judge had already dismissed out 10 of her 13 claims. Her case is not strong anymore, but still she's acting like she has a massive army of witnesses at this point.
The trial judge, has dismissed 10 of the 13 charges that she has made against Justin Baldoni. This is an enormous loss for Blake Lively.
If the fight over the witness list was bad, the dispute over the new evidence became even more chaotic. As the midnight deadline approached for submitting pretrial paperwork, Blake Lively's legal team allegedly realized they had little of value to present to the judge. So, they reportedly attempted to submit a massive volume of material at the last minute. Wayfarer Studios, Justin Baldoni's company, had to file an urgent letter to the judge, claiming they were overwhelmed by the sheer amount of submissions from Blake Lively's team. Music. Even though the judge had already dismissed most of her case, her team was still trying to introduce over 800 exhibits and more than 40 music witnesses.
Even with only 3 remaining claims, Lively still lists more than 40 witnesses and more than 800 exhibits, now accompanied by hundreds of affiliated attachments, far more than can fit within an estimated 15 days.
But the real shock came just past music midnight. Blake Lively's team suddenly identified 68 completely new exhibits. They did not send the actual files until 3:40 a.m. And worse, the internet link they sent was broken. Music. Justin Baldoni's team could not even open the files until 10 a.m. on a day when they had major legal deadlines to meet.
Identified 68 new exhibits for the first time just after midnight and provided reviewable copies of those documents at approximately 3:40 a.m. Mind you, with a footnote, the link Lively's counsel provided was defective, so we were unable to begin to review these materials until 10 a.m.
When the defense lawyers eventually received the files unlocked, they could not believe what they were looking at. In a major, music $400 million legal lawsuit, Blake Lively presented a Taylor Swift cookie recipe, music as evidence.
Include an article about a Taylor Swift cookie recipe that was linked in other correspondence.
Well, I'm not joking. Her team allegedly submitted an article about Taylor, music, Swift's cookie recipe, to the federal judge. They also included random photographs of Blake Lively hanging out with Taylor Swift. And to make it even more messy, they submitted a speech about how Ryan Reynolds is such a great family man.
They include, for example, a speech Lively made about her husband Ryan Reynolds' commitment to his family. and pictures of Lively with Taylor.
The inclusion of these items suggests a legal team that has become completely disorganized. They had no proof of mistreatment. Music, they had no evidence of a hostile work environment. So they attempted to rely on their famous connections to influence the judge. They seem to think that if they presented photos of Taylor Swift or remarks about how nice Ryan Reynolds is, the judge would ignore the music, actual law, and simply let them win. However, the judge reviewed the situation and indicated that they were, music, not going to waste time on Taylor Swift photos and cookie recipes. This rejection demonstrated that the federal court system, music, does not care about celebrity status. It only cares about the facts. Music and Blake had none. The courtroom setbacks were severe, but the damage to her public image was even worse. And the most frustrating part for her public relations team is that the entire situation was largely self-inflicted. Music, she had multiple chances to address it, but her ego would not allow it. While Justin Baldoni was trying to, music, emphasize the serious message of the film, Blake was telling audiences to wear their floral dresses and bring friends for a fun, music, night at the movies.
Oh, Blake Lively here. Colleen Hoover. And It Ends With Us is in theaters now. So grab your friends, wear your florals, and...
Things reportedly got worse when she chose to use the film's press tour to promote her own products. Music, she promoted her new hair care line. Even more controversially to the public, she also used the movie to highlight her husband's gin brand. Pushing alcohol while promoting a film like It Ends With Us was widely seen as greedy and inappropriate. The most surprising part of this entire story is that Blake and music, Ryan, could have ended the controversy in a single day, but they refused. They missed the chance for a peaceful resolution because they believe they are never wrong. Because of her refusal to apologize, legal tactics, and the allegations involved, Hollywood has begun to view Blake Lively differently. Inside major studio boardrooms, a serious music comparison is being made. Industry insiders are even comparing Blake Lively to Amber Heard.
You're turning into Amber Heard isn't because we're misogynist. It's because no one believes you, because you're not telling the truth. That's what's really this is about.
This is the worst possible comparison for an actor. The Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial was a massive cultural event where allegations of mistreatment were heavily scrutinized in public. Blake Lively's situation is being framed by some as similar. The connections between her and Amber are actually very widely discussed. Elaine Bredhoft, the lawyer who represented Amber Heard in that famous trial, also appeared on television to point out perceived similarities.
With you, why do you believe that these allegations may have teeth?
Well, first of all, remember this PR team was the same PR team that Depp got back in the Amber Heard and Depp case. Now, most PR firms, you assume, are supposed to promote their clients. That's not what this PR firm does. And what's clear in Blake Lively's complaint is they do exactly the opposite. They go out and intentionally fabricate stories, create smear campaigns, and with TikTok and all the other social media. And that's what happened to Amber Heard.
Similarly, many industry observers noted that Blake Lively's talent, music, agent at WME, a man named Warren Zavala, also represented Amber Heard during her trial. This has led some to suggest that Blake is surrounded by the same music industry players using a similar playbook.
Behind the scenes, Hollywood is turning their back on her. They are saying that she's the next Amber Heard, and they are warning her that she could be pushed out of Hollywood if this court battle.
Allegations are now coming out that Hollywood is openly shifting its support on Blake Lively. Music sources are claiming that she could be entirely forced out of the business. In Hollywood, music actors are investments. Producers invest hundreds of millions of dollars to produce music and promote a movie. They need actors who are safe, reliable, and liked by the audience. Right now, music, Blake, and Ryan are viewed as massive risks. Their reputation for being hyper-controlling is now public awareness. Major producers are looking at what happened to Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios, and they are alarmed. Music, the pair's controlling reputation shows how they make themselves a big risk that major studios will actively avoid in the future. Think about it from the perspective of a studio boss. Why would you ever hire Ryan Reynolds or Blake Lively again? If you hire them, they will try to take over the movie. They will lock your chosen director out of the editing room. They will use your press tour to sell their own personal shampoo and music, alcohol brands. If they do not get their way, they will threaten your company saying, the gloves will come off. And if you stand up to them, they will sue you for $400 million and dump Taylor Swift cookie recipes on the judge's desk at midnight. It is simply not music worth the headache. The producers are realizing that the pair's ego is bigger than their box office draw. As Joe Rogan pointed out, they used to get away with this because everyone was scared of their A-list status. Music, but they are no longer scary. They are a joke, and Hollywood does not invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a joke.